Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm going to call the August 4th, 2022 meeting of the Native American Commission to order. We're going to begin with an introduction of our current members, starting with John Strand.
I'm John Strand with the liaison from the Fargo City Commission to this board.
Hi, my name is Dale Sayers, member of the Blackfeet Nation.
Whitney Fear, current chair of the Native American Commission, member of the Oglala Sioux Tribe.
Ashley Littlewolf, Boys Fort Band of Ojibwe, and a member of the Native American Commission.
Amanda Strauss, new member, Sisseton Wapaton Oyate.
Do we have anybody joining by phone today?
Not
Yep,
yet.
Emily Sargent. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Emily.
Yep, Emily Sargent, member from White Earth Nation, vice chairwoman of the commission.
Anyone else joining by phone? All right. We also, the City Commission also recently approved the appointment of Suzanne Sensky to fill our last vacancy. She could not attend it, but we look forward to having her join us next time. So the first order of business would be to review and approve the agenda and the May 5th, 2022 minutes. And I would add on to their, there's a last minute motion to, or, suggestion to amend the agenda to add Jan from Heart Springs to give a presentation after item number 3. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the agenda on May 5th, 2022 minutes with that amendment?
All motion.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, motion carried. Third item is public comment. Is there anybody for public comment?
Yep, we have 2 speakers signed up, Sandra Berlin and then Sanya Berlin.
Okay, well, I think we can go ahead and proceed with public comment.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sandy Berlin. One of my names, my spirit names is Eagle Plume Woman. And I am now an elder, but I've been in the community for over 30 years. And pretty much most of that time, I've been an advocate in the Native community. I came on when we still had the Native Center over on Main Avenue, across from what was McDonald's at one time. But back then, I remember I'd go in there every day, every week. I'd make time in my schedule to be there. And I met a lot of people, Native people, from all over. And I think I came today because I want to talk about a couple things about what I'm currently doing today with Sweet Medicine. And we are an Indigenous healing journey. And so I'm fortunate now. I was recently brought on board with the city. I work with the what is it called? Harm reduction, public health, and I've been over in the former police department now for about 3 months. And so Sweet Medicine is actually something that we've been working on. I also, in 1999, I led my first talking circle with the Native community. And so I've been listening to the Native community and others, leaders in the community for a long time. And I've been fortunate enough to know, people from all over, actually the world that used to come, like when I was at the Wesley Center, we had the Native American ministry and different programs out of there. So I've gotten to know people, and a lot of people will call me mom or auntie and all of that. But I'm also a mother of 4, grandmother of 15, which includes 2 great-grandchildren. I want to say right now, too, that I'm very proud of my grandchildren. My first grandson and my granddaughter are at Sundance today for the 5th year. So although I'm not there, I know they're praying for us, and they're always praying for the work that we do, and especially at the Engagement Center downtown. So what I came to talk about, I guess, was to kind of keep homelessness in the front. That's who I've been working with for many, many years. and I'm going to try not to cry because these people have became my family. And it's sad to say today, one lady that we lost, and I don't know the year exactly, but now her third generation, her grandson, has been getting a hold of me to help him. He's sleeping in his car. Her daughter did the same thing, and she was found under the bridge, beat up, but there was never any charges or anything like that against anybody. She was from Standing Rock. And also, I mean, the guys that we've had who are Native American and homeless, I mean, they're all like my brothers. We've lost so many. And that's why I'm kind of amazed that, you know, I'm probably one of the few elders that are left. You know, and I keep thinking about the many elders that we keep losing, and losing with that, we're losing, you know, of course, the language, the culture, tradition, and things like that. So I feel like I'm blessed because I'm able to have an office down there, and people who are homeless can come in and find a place where somebody has liked them, who knows them, understands them, where they've come from, knows their family. Many, oftentimes, you know, I know their family members. So I'm very grateful that we are on this Indigenous healing journey together and with the city, and to have great coworkers like JB, with Jan and Lisa. And then now my granddaughter's here today too. She's going to share a little bit about something that she's working on. But I wanted to share about Sweet Medicine because it's actually, we have an art studio there. So people will come in and we work on traditional art with individuals. And then downstairs, we also have a space that we call Sweet, or referred to as Sweet Medicine Lodge. So we're able to have ceremony down there, and we've had 2 so far. And so people are really, Native people, I can say, I guess, we know our past, the things that we've been through with the boarding schools, missing, murdered, Indigenous people, you know, and we all have people who are like addicted, that we've lost to drugs. But the programs that we have at the engagement center, they're awesome. And I did bring some brochures, I guess, to tell you a little bit about. At the Downtown Engagement Center, there's the Homeless Health Services, harm reduction programs, housing navigation, and Native Inc. And there's probably others that are not necessarily on here, and I think Jan may mention that too. And of course, we have Lisa, who is RN. So that's awesome to have that for people to come in and feel comfortable talking to somebody. I'm also I sit on the Missing Murdered Indigenous Task Force. And so we're talking that through, as Amanda is, and other ladies in the community. But just putting our heads together and to see what we can do, and to help people to be, you know, proud of who they are, introduce them, because people are lost, you know, away from their traditions. And that seems, you know, one thing that, you know, that people are really missing in their lives, you know, to make a difference, to have people support them. So that's what we're doing. There's a few needs that we have. Probably one important reason why I came here as well too, is to request financial support. And I'm not sure if it's like 500 or 1,000. I'm not sure what the Native Commission has available to help with the elders. But some of the things that's going on over there now is we're going to have some events where we are always needing volunteers. They do like cookouts, and there's going to be a taco riot. I think it's going to be next week. And the shirt show where they're giving out like thousands of shirts that they've had donated. We have the traditional arts, of course. And I guess what we really need is Native American elders, Indigenous men to come in and to mentor, because a lot of the people I don't think that have that or have had that fatherly role model in their lives. And I know people are getting used to me being there, and they'll come in and talk through things too, but I know what I always look, you know, for is, you know, that father figure, a Native American that would come in. And women, of course, too. I mean, we, you know, play such an important role in people's lives, especially when you think about like foster homes, you know, or what's going on with our kids. I know we're also looking for somebody to start like a Well Bride or White Bison. We're looking for yeah, for people to, find ways to help people build that support in the community for people. And I think, yeah, some of the art that I offer or that we make is with leather, with beads, dream catchers, shawls, skirts. I just completed a huge project I was working on for the missing murdered Indigenous people. I made 15 men's ribbon shirts and 10 ribbon skirts. So there's somebody picking up this afternoon and bringing them to Ohio. So they're going to a national assembly. So I'm hoping and praying and, that they're gonna, keep things up in the air too for the churches and for people to really look at that, and hopefully implant it in their brains that we need to do something. We need to do something together. And I think that's probably the biggest thing I've learned, in these 30 years. I used to come here like with just me, myself or one of my kids, but I was always out by myself. But I think now there's a lot more leaders, so that we need to do it together. One person or, we have to have more voices out in the community. And so I would like to, request financial help for our elders council, because I do have an elders council. We meet, the last time we met was actually Indigenous Day in October last year. So I'm hoping to bring them together and be able to serve them a meal and kind of talk through some of these issues that we're facing, and get their input. And I think that's about it. But I would like to ask if Ziana wants to come up now and kind of talk about what she holds close to her heart.
My name's Ziana Berlin, and
They're all your aunties up there.
I'm basically doing this overdose awareness day. I'm doing this thing because my mom passed away. She overdosed, but I'm doing this thing for my
Overdose Awareness Day, which is on August 31st. And that's something JB has been working on, and Jan, they've been working on this for a while. So Ziana wants to do something to memorialize her mom and the others in our community who have overdosed, and that's something that's so prevalent. The kids in her class, her friends, it's normal for them to have somebody, who has overdosed or, committed suicide or in prisons, and so that's another way that we can come together. So what are you looking for?
I'm basically doing something where for all the homeless, I'm just getting a bunch of donations with backpacks and hygiene stuff and purses full of just hygiene stuff, basic needs that most of us have but they don't, and just give it to them, let them pick what they want and they can have it for free, so then they have, I don't know, the basic needs. But we're getting a bunch of donations now, and so getting a start. And the first drive is on the August 31st, and it's going to be at the Harm Reduction Center. And then it's going to be from 11 a.m. till 5 p.m., something like that. That's not...
I think it'll go later after school too.
Oh, yeah. But basically, yeah.
Was there any questions or anything?
Right. Well, great job, young ladies. That's really good. Can we maybe put that on our Facebook page, the NAC Facebook page, so that it's advertised and get it out there a little bit more? So I want to address just quickly the matter of the financial assistance that city boards are doing any financial assistance anymore. So that's unfortunately something we can't help out with. However, I don't know if it would be helpful if maybe an additional thing we could put on the Facebook page and just kind of do within maybe some subcommittee groups is maybe do maybe some drive for supplies that you might need for the art groups, and try to put the word out there more about the mentorship aspect of things. Be happy to do that. Does anybody have any questions? Let's start down here with you, John.
I don't have questions, but I've always known when I'm in the presence of Sandy Berlin, I'm in the presence of greatness.
Thank you. Very good.
You mentioned you're looking for support for your next elders meeting. When is that? Do you have a date for that? Or?
Well, I don't, at least October, I know we'll have one for sure on Indigenous Day. I'd like to bring them together before that, but it really, because a lot of them don't have the means to get here. Or if we have, there's a couple with health issues, one from Sisseton and one down by Granite. And I know during the pandemic, we did try to do like the video conferencing, but that didn't go so well. So, I mean, if we can get everybody together somehow, you know, I didn't choose a date.
Okay. But probably coming up here in the next month or two or so?
Yes.
Okay. All
Yes.
right, thank you.
I don't have any questions. I just want to say miigwech for sharing, and then we'll just continue to spread the word for donations and the drive that you're doing.
Thank you.
And I don't have any questions either. I just want to say that I love your leadership and organizing and doing things to, you know, help your own healing. And so I'm just really thankful for that. And I also have been to the Engagement Center, and it's very nice down there. I got to visit with Sandy, so try to go down there and visit if you can.
Yep, there's lots of volunteer opportunities. Right, Jen? And I forgot, I'm sorry, I'm enrolled in White Earth, and my dad was from Red Lake. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. I believe now the next item was a short presentation from Jan at Harp Springs.
Good morning, or afternoon, I guess. Thanks for letting me come and speak with you. So I wanted to let you know about the mind-body group that we had for Native American women. And we held that in February through April of this last year. It was a mind-body group. We had 24 women who were recruited. And Whitney was referring, Native American Commission, Missing and Murdered Indigenous Peoples Group, the Indigenous Association, Family Health Care. And not all 24 women felt like they felt comfortable enough to attend the group. But we had a core group of 8 women, 4 who attended every single time for 12 weeks. And then we had another 4 who came and went depending on responsibilities with family and school and things like that. So we feel glad that we had the 8 women who were taking part in the group. It ended up being 11 weeks instead of 12. I was called out of town for a baby who was being born, so I could be present with that. But we did hold another couple groups in May and July to make up for that. We did have cooked meals every week, which was really nice. And then we ended up having a marvelous opportunity with Moms Demand Action, who offered babysitting for us. And so they were just there. So whether there were kids there or not, they were always present and actually brought some toys for the kids. So that was very fun. I have it attached, and so I had some information over there. I'm going to see if I can get this thing to work here. Oh, okay, it's not so hard. All right, so we asked the women when they first came, how do you see yourself today? And this particular individual said, I need to put myself and my kids' health first. I feel like I've been putting a Band-Aid on every problem and not dealing with issues for myself and my kids. The second question was, what's my biggest problem? And she said, mental health, how to manage and trust that I'll be okay, and making and keeping boundaries for myself and my kids. And then the third question was, I'm going to have to rip this off. What do I look like when my biggest problem or challenge is solved? And she said, I will have self-love, peace in my heart. I'll be doing more things that make me happy. I'll have more fun and enjoy being outdoors with family. So that was when we first started. And at the end, we asked them, what do you look like now? And the same individual said, I feel more balanced in my heart and home. I'm more happy and I'm free. And how or where would you like to be? I want to be someplace peaceful, out in nature, by water, relax, and enjoy the outdoors this summer. And then we asked, well, how are you going to get there? And she said, I'm going to work and save. I'm going to have self-control, discipline, research, and opportunities. I'm going to write down my goals and steps and get to my short-term goal. This was a big change for the individual first starting the group, not sure of herself and where she wanted to go in life, and to have this as part of her ending opportunities to be able to talk about this, I thought was rather stunning. And she's just one example. We had other women say similar things. There were lots of aha moments for people, and that was really touching for me as a facilitator of the group to be able to bring out those aha moments. Tracy Wilkie was my co-leader in the past. She did a great job. She was a great facilitator getting the word out and getting women there. This next group that we have, that's coming up, is coming up in September now on the 22nd. We received a grant from FM Area Foundation to run another 12-week program. And Siobhan Wilkie, who's from MHA Nation, will be co-leading with me. She'll be helping with the group. So, okay, and you said you had no money, so I won't do the rest of the presentation. I was going to ask for a couple forms of resources. So there's a new resource that just came out that's newly accessible to me as in June. And I was hoping to give those to each of the ladies. And actually, I'd love to hold a children's clinic for children to be able to know and become aware of their emotions and let them know that all emotions are okay. It's just how you deal with them. Because I find that's really leads into adult life and how we deal with our emotions and getting into alcoholism and all kinds of things. So emotions are huge. So, but I will see if I can find that at another time. I did have a question though. Last time when I was here, there were $700 that said could be committed to Heart Springs. We never did receive a check. Was that a?
So I can speak to that.
Okay, thank you.
Was still awaiting a response from your accountant. She had reached out, and so maybe I should check it back in with her.
Okay, thank you. All right. Any questions for me as to the new group coming up?
I'll go ahead and start with John.
And Jan, I'm curious, in your observations and studies and work, would you describe some of the health effects that you're addressing as PTSD in women, especially?
Yes, I would say that most everything we're dealing with is PTSD, some form of trauma, personal, family, generational, historical, cultural. I mean, it's multi-layered.
The reason I ask is I didn't know till recently in my life that there's a person from North Dakota that's become a nationally renowned PTSD expert. And I didn't know that women is the biggest category of folks affected by PTSD. I just didn't know. And the why behind that. You're touching on that, but that's important for us to keep an eye on and be aware of.
And I think a lot of the homelessness that we're talking about is because of PTSD. There's just the different layers of trauma that happen in families, and when it's passed down from generation to generation, it just creates, Whitney would probably have a better word for me, but it's a struggle. It's a constant struggle. Yeah.
Thank you. Good work you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
No questions, but sounds like a wonderful program. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I don't have any questions either. I'm really glad to hear this offered again. I would suggest right now the North Dakota Department of Behavioral Health is conducting some review of services and specifically in regards to a health equity and Indigenous health, in order to, get some things going. And I know something that we talked about last time, that this group came up, is that groups like this are super inaccessible because they're not well reimbursed, if they are at all, by health insurers, including Medicaid. And when they're not, people have to pay for them out of pocket usually, and that makes them inaccessible. And then the child care thing and all of that. And this, the way you guys have it set up, is covering all of that stuff, making it super accessible. So I really appreciate that about, but I think that it would be, and I can send you an email with their contact information with those, the Indigenous health liaisons with the state. I think that it would be good to give them the information about the last group and how meaningful that can be.
Yes, I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
No questions for me.
I was one of the participants that would come and go because I'm pretty busy. But I very much enjoyed working with Jan. I also enjoyed the connection between all the women. We were really close. And so, and then we had this feast at the end. Well, we had a feast every time, but at the end we had a little feast and gifts, and it was very beautiful. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
All right, I believe now we will have a update from Indigenous Association.
All right, bonjour, Anin. My name is Brandon. I am the interim executive director for Indigenous Association. I was one of the founding board members of the organization and have been on the board and acted as chair of the board for a couple years. And it kind of came to the point where I got appointed as the interim executive director about middle of last month. And I've been kind of hitting the ground running, meeting with tons of people and hearing about a lot of the things going on in the community. I'm super excited. Like if I start getting really excited, just kind of come with me, because I get really excited about this work. But Indigenous Association, as an update, we've had a Native Youth series this summer that was paid for through a grant, and we've done a few workshops, and they've been pretty well attended, really, really well received by the youth. We did a quill work on birch bark class that lasted a weekend. It was 2 workshops on a Saturday and a Sunday, and we made medallions or barrettes. Dana Tricky from over in the White Earth area has really experienced in that form of art and craft. So she taught us, and she was a really good teacher. And one of the perks of working for Indigenous associations, I get to participate as well. So I got to make one too, and it was super fun. It was really engaging. We did another workshop with using florals to pigment flowers that were written in Ojibwe. So the Ojibwe language, and they were just like traced out. And so we were able to do that. And then we smashed some flowers to use the pigment on the handkerchiefs. It was a mess. It was tons of fun. It was great. We have a photography class coming up, like a workshop next week with TJ Turner. And we're going to be going over to the Gladys Ray garden and taking photographs and kind of learning about photography from him. Our class is we have about 12 people signed up right now, 12 youth. That was kind of the top end of what we wanted, but we could probably squeeze a few more youth in if we really have the interest. But it's going to be tons of fun. And then after that, we have applique gather bag for youth to make, and then they can take that home with them as well. So that's one of the series that we're doing. So I'm getting really excited about that, and I think it's really well received. And so coming on into the position of executive director for Indigenous Association, I've really been looking at trying to figure out funding sources and ways to make the organization sustainable and offer these sort of things regularly in the community, open to like all kinds of people. So this one's very specifically focused on youth, but we want to really focus on providing different workshops for the entire community. So like different things that have come up as like basket making, different blanket making opportunities, things like that. So once we get our funding, we can talk more about like what we're going to be offering. But I'm really excited. So we're working on that. Another thing that I've been kind of working on since I started is talking to different people in the community about different things that are going on. And one thing that Indigenous Association really wants to, like as an organization, is always wanted to focus on is uniting, connecting, and strengthening the community. And one of the aspects of that we want to focus on is there's a lot of people doing a lot of different things in the community that are really good. Sandra Berlin was talking about a lot of great things that she's doing over at the Engagement Center. We have Amanda who's doing things with Planned Parenthood, like other people doing great things in the community. And Indigenous Association has a website and a Facebook presence, and about like 1,400 people follow the Facebook page. So one of the things that we want to do is if community members are having events in different spaces and they want to advertise, like I want to make sure that that's available and we can promote those events on our website. We're not looking to just focus on what we're doing and just promote that and try to like, just offer all the things to everyone. No one can do that. There's just so many needs in the community and so many interests in the community. But what we want to do is be a space where people can let us know what's going on in the community, and then we can like get that information out there so that way everyone kind of knows what's going on. And if something interests them, they can go to those things. I'm really looking at forming partnerships with people. We have an amazing space over in the Plains Art Museum. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm working on kind of decorating it and making it a little more functional than it is now. But in the meantime, if there are organizations that want to do some things in the space, they can use that space as well. Indigenous organizations mostly, like we're looking to bring Indigenous programming and Indigenous folks that are doing things in the community into this space. So that's kind of what we've been doing and what I've kind of been working on since I started. So there's a couple things coming up very, very soon. The Native American Community Picnic is going to happen on August 20th. I am working on getting the flyer made. I just need a couple more things from people. I'm waiting for a couple things before I can put it all together. But it's going to be in the M.B. Johnson Park in Moorhead on the other side of the river. We're going to have a bouncy house. We're going to have an inflatable obstacle course. We're going to have some food. We have 2 drum groups coming in. They're going to share a drum and a raffle. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be kind of low key, just kind of a fun picnic to go have some food, hang out, and jump and all that stuff. Hopefully it's not too warm. And so it's great. So if you want to come to the event, it will be from noon to 5 on August 20th. If you want to volunteer, I'm looking for a few people to help out with some different things. Maybe I can take on the grill, or maybe someone else can take on the grill and be the grill person, or maybe help with the raffle or any of that. So if you are interested, you can email me at brandon@indgns.org. And then we can connect and kind of see if you want more information about the picnic itself, you can ask me that, or if you want to volunteer and help with something, feel free to reach out. It's really fun. Tell everyone about it and just come have some food, hang out. There's also in that park, there's what do they call it? It's like a food forest, right? Like this, so they're making it so you can gather like food from that forest. So we wanted to get someone to come and do tours of that, so that way the community knows it's there and it's accessible, and they're able to go and gather things from that place. But I don't think we'll have anyone there, but we'll get some information about it at the picnic so you can take a look. So if you do end up there, take a look at it. I think it's just starting, so I don't think they have all the things available yet, but it's a really cool idea, like a way to kind of use those green spaces in a way that's helpful for the community, so they can have food and learn about the different things that grow in the area. One of the other big events that's coming up is Indigenous Peoples Day. And Indigenous Association previously has kind of taken on some parts of that to just kind of set up and organize people in the community. And as of now, I'm kind of like want to finish this picnic stuff. We can finish organizing and doing the flyers and everything for that. But next up would be the Indigenous Peoples Day. And last year we had an event on the bridge between Moorhead and Fargo, kind of as like an opening ceremony. We'd like to do something like that again. And then there's also maybe possibly doing a lunch and learn of some sort in the afternoon. And then what we want to do is, I know there's a lot of things going on in different parts of both Moorhead and Fargo. So instead of creating programming throughout the entire day for Indigenous Association, what I really want to do is like highlight what's going on in the community. So like Indian Ed in Fargo and West Fargo, Indian Ed in Moorhead, like what are they doing? Is it open to the public? Can we get people over there? And you know, if Sweet Medicine's doing something for Indigenous Peoples Day, like I really want to like put that on there and make sure that we get people to those events as well. What I really want to do is just collaborate. I don't want to take this on as like Indigenous associations taking on this and it's our event. Like I really want to bring in the community and highlight the things that are already happening, and kind of come together and make sure that people know what's going on. So the collaboration piece is something that's huge for me as we're starting out here. I've had conversations with people in the community about, you know, listening sessions for the City of Fargo commissioners and the Native American Commission to come in and have a meal and hear what's on the mind of folks in the community. We've talked about, we actually talked about Obel Variety. That's interesting that Sandra and Lynn, you mentioned that. We were talking about maybe starting a Well Variety group, doing some more workshops around different things. So bottom line is, so for the supply drive, that's a great idea. Youth are like, you guys are like on top of this and you know what's going on in your community and you're really passionate. Your generation is super passionate and I love it. You're going to change the world. You already are changing the world. But so like, if you want to give me some information on that, like I can post it on our website. We could be a site to collect things at certain times. Like I just want to help you like get as much as you can to be able to distribute and get to people. And so there's all kinds of opportunities like that. And I'm just really looking for people in the community that either want to use the space, want to use kind of some of our platforms to help advertise and get things out there. People who just want to connect with other people in the community. People who maybe want to do some of the arts and crafts or have ideas about arts and crafts that they want to do or they want to do in the space. Things like that. Just I'm very open to it. I don't have a card on me. I don't have any literature, but you can go to indgns.org. That's our website. There's a website on there that you can contact us as well. And there's all kinds of stuff going on. Facebook page, we have the Indigenous Association Facebook page. That's where I post most of our events that are going on. So if you're interested in any of those things that are going on, just be sure to visit the Facebook page.
All right, thanks, Brandon. Any questions from first?
Yeah, I was going to ask about your web address, but you gave that. I like the date for the picnic. It's my birthday, so nice. August 20th. Nice.
We'll celebrate your birthday. Come on by.
Nice. I'll be there.
No questions.
No questions. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Brandon. Any subcommittee members that want to provide a report? I know at the chair of my committee, I don't have any updates at this time. So, staff updates?
Yes, thank you. The Fargo Fire Department is going to be hiring our next generation of women and men to staff the Fargo Fire Department. That's starting up this fall. Applications are going to be opening up August 15th and closing September 5th. We're doing testing every year now, and that's moved up from what we used to do every other year. Through listening, I've really been able to hear how important representation is, and we recognize that I need to partner with others to try to bring forward better representation, and that's why I'm here today. One of the other things that we're adding within this application process is once the application process opens, we're doing 2 recruitment and orientation events where people who are interested and want to know what it would mean to join the fire service can understand what it looks like. So these jobs are full-time career jobs. And our orientation days are going to be August 17th, that's a Wednesday at 6 o'clock, and August 23rd, which is a Tuesday at 6 o'clock. And that's at our station number 4, which is 2701 First Avenue North. You can get more information. I can talk to anybody after the meeting's done, but also at fargofire.com is a spot where you can go and get links to, if you have people that you can push in our direction, we'd sure be appreciative. Any questions for me?
Are you gonna come to the picnic on the 20th? It
That's,
might be a good opportunity.
Right, thank you. I will bring that forward.
Anybody else have any questions for Jamie? All right, any other staff updates?
The Fargo Police Department is also actively hiring and recruiting for our Winter Academy that will start sometime in around the December, January timeframe. So we are actively recruiting for individuals that are interested in going to the police academy and being hired with the Fargo Police Department. So all of the information and links are through the city website and the Fargo Police Department website as well. And you would be a paid employee while you went through the academy. And then next, we are just reminding the board members that we have the collaborative table opportunity for Pride in the Park, which is coming up on the 13th of August. And so all the varying city departments collaborate and have educational outreach and engagement booths. So I believe it's the fire department, the police department, the library, and then we actively encourage members of the Human Relations Commission and the Native American Commission to sit with us and be part of that event on the 13th. And we would bring all of the tables and chairs and those types of things. So that event is from 11 to 4. That's all I have.
Questions for police?
Are you guys gonna come on the 20th? Same plug there with that. No.
All right, and then I have some updates kind of across the board here. We'll start out with some housing-related updates. Just FYI, the planning department and the city recently finalized its Home American Rescue Plan allocation plan, and so the city was awarded $1.7 million in one-time funds that are used to address homelessness in the community. And so you can read the full plan online, but we're doing $550,000 to transitional housing units through the YWCA's upcoming project called Lantern Light Apartments. And then we're doing $900,000 for homeless prevention and diversion operations. And then we're doing about $250,000 for downtown engagement center operations. So it's an interesting needs analysis that's available within the full plan that I encourage you to check out. And we also recently completed our analysis of impediments to fair housing. And so the point of that report is to identify barriers to fair housing choice for different people in the community of different protected classes and identify steps to reduce or eliminate them. So for example, it's nothing new, but it highlights, the stark disparities in homeownership, for example, between white households versus Native households and different costs burdens that are more severely felt by others. So you can also find that online at fargond.gov/plans and studies. And let's see, what else do I have? Arts and culture, the city's Arts and Culture Commission continues to support several neat public art projects. In particular, I wanted to draw attention to the recently completed one by our former member, Anna Johnson. And so Anna was funded to finish a mural on the south side of Bernie's on University Drive and 16th Avenue. It's also called the Midtown Plaza, but Midtown Market. And so it's called The Moon Also Rises, and it's very beautiful. I couldn't find a good picture to share, but y'all have to drive by because it incorporates a bunch of imagery from her Chippewa heritage and is a great representation in the community. And I'll mention from FargoCast Public Health, they are hosting back-to-school immunization events on Wednesday and Thursday, August 17th and 18th at FargoCast Public Health, 1240 25th Street, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., no appointment required. All required and recommended child and teen immunizations will be available. And they're also still offering COVID testing at the store from 8 to 6 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and Fridays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And vaccines are available on Thursdays by appointment. You just have to call 701-241-1383. And let me just double check my list. Oh yeah, you may have walked in and noticed on the main level of City Hall, there's a beautiful exhibit called Race, Are We So Different? And so if you haven't already, walk through, encourage others to walk through because it's all public. And in addition to the mini exhibition, several community conversation engagement events will be hosted at the Fargo Public Library on Friday, that's past, but the upcoming one on Thursday, August 18th and Thursday, September 29th. Each session is scheduled from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. and members of the YWCA's Racial Justice Committee have been trained to use the Indigenous tradition of circle dialogue in order to facilitate discussions to generate greater awareness and mutual understanding revolving the exhibit. So feel free to ask any questions you have on any of those items.
I forgot to mention, I just want to make sure that everyone was aware that the United Way is hosting their also back-to-school backpack and school supply giveaway that will be occurring on the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th. The 9th and the 10th is from 4:30 to 6 p.m., and on the 11th is from 11:30 till 1 in the afternoon in the parking lot of the Shields Arena.
Okay. Can we do an update from JB? Is that, like, I don't know if that falls under city, like, staff updates, or I've never had anybody ask from tech.
So to touch on the Overdose Awareness Day on August 31st, I probably should have jumped up earlier, I apologize. Last year, we were able to get local artist Kim Jory to paint a mural on the back of our building at the Harm Reduction Center. So it is a purple ribbon with wings on it, and there's 50 butterflies. So for this year, we'd like to have folks memorialize folks that have overdosed. So anybody from now until the 31st can come to the Harm Reduction Center or the Downtown Engagement Center and give us either initials, a name, a picture, whatever they'd like to get put up on the wall for Overdose Awareness Day event. Any questions?
I know who you are, JB, but can you just introduce yourself?
Sorry. I'm Jordan Byer. I'm the harm reduction specialist for FargoCast Public Health.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for JB?
Jordan, if you don't mind, while you're there, update us on fentanyl in the 30s, the Percocets, and I just hear this is really pretty rampant out there.
Yep, so we've been seeing quite a bit of them for a while now. Overdose in the area is something that we work obviously very strongly to curb. So this last year, there were 68 drug-related overdoses in 2021. Last year, there was 59, so we're up a little bit from last year. Fentanyl it's a real bear cat. You know, they're finding it in a lot of different things that you usually wouldn't see it in. So a lot of them are pressed pills, the 30s that you're speaking of. We hand out a ton of Narcan over at the Harm Reduction Center. So over 3,000 doses so far this year, and a ton of fentanyl testing strips. So we're just trying to give people the opportunity to take control of their life if they are using certain products, excuse me, to test those products and to keep themselves and their friends safe by carrying Narcan and utilizing Narcan.
And if I might continue, is it even appearing in street marijuana? I've heard...
I don't have the numbers on that. I'm not hearing anything like that from my participants. I think maybe PD could speak on that a little bit better than I could. I'm not hearing it, but that's not to say that it's not happening.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for Jordan?
Thank you.
Thanks, Jordan. Any NAC members have any announcements? All right, if there's, oh. Yep.
I just wanted to mention, but like I have some friends of mine that I used to be really close with before, but now like I don't know how they got like caught into this, but I heard that she's using fentanyl, and she's only 15 years old, and that's not the first that I've heard about it. And now I guess she's sleeping in apartment hallways, and like her parents want her to go home, but she like refuses. I don't know, but I don't know. I just wanted to add that.
She's got a lot of classmates and stuff too, that they have family members who are, have either OD'd or, they're living in that type of environment. That's something that we need to be aware of, and, in the schools or however to find support and get help out there. And to her, it's like a normal thing, and it shouldn't be that way. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you. If there's no other business, then I would move to adjourn this meeting of the NAC. Our next meeting is scheduled for September 1st at noon. Thank you.